Video today is brought to you by LG, keeping us cool in the garage on a 97-degree day. Chris has been hard at work this morning getting stuff together. He got the steering drilled out. He riveted in the new, or the replacement e-box holder, gray box, and we got some, well, I don't know where it is. Got some fuel lines, some hose clamps. He drilled out the water box, and I gave him a black water box here, or an air box. So I guess, and also, what else? I brought the rotary valve over. We stripped out a couple of screws in the carburetor, in this one, so we had to drill them out. So I found, here's the stock 38 that came on mine, and I'm going to take the screws out of this, rebuild this carb. Just show you what I'm doing there with the rebuild kit, and we'll get the jets changed and all that, get the motor up here, time it, and hopefully drop the motor in today, get that in, replace all the fuel lines, drain the tank out, drain the oil out, and get the e-box in with the motor, and at least get that ready. So the stock jets that were in this carburetors, these 40mm carburetors from the 787, were 130 and 60. So we're putting in a 140 and 75. Let's see, I need a little flathead. Take our jets out. The jets usually always want to come out. They're brass, they usually don't have a problem. It's the screws holding that piece in. You have the other jets, right? You saved those?
Ones that came out of that, the other one?
Yeah. Whoops. Uh-oh. Okay. And then we'll inspect the needle here, needle and seat. So for the factory pipe, where we at? Factory pipe, the needle and seat here, you got to be a 1.2 millimeter. We didn't get new needles and seats because I'm hoping these needles are okay. I want a nice sharp point on the end. You don't want it to be crushed. The springs is what you change your pop-off pressure. So for the factory pipe you want 44 psi, and I'll show you that later when I get the pop-off pressure tester. That's the psi where the needle opens. So the seat's okay. That's a 1.2 millimeter seat. I got that stuff out. On the back side here is, this is the rear carb, so it doesn't have the fuel pump in it. That's where your filter goes here. I already had this apart. Filter goes in here. And a rubber gasket, but I got that out. And we're going to take the jets out and spray this one out. There's the low speed needle. And there's an O-ring on the end of the low speed needle, and he's bumping my camera. Make sure that O-ring gets changed so you're not sucking air. Look who decides to knock on the garage door and show up. Dolan, you want to reintroduce yourself?
No, I'm Dolan.
Yeah, that's what he gets.
I'm the class idiot.
Yeah. So, Dolan's GTX is just waiting to go in the water, but he's too lazy to go out there, put it in the water. With his shoulder surgery he had, so we're waiting on him. Anyways, Chris, did you get those out? Yeah. Okay, we got the screws out. We had to drill those out of the old ones. So, if you need a 38mm carb without screws, let me know. Cheap. Okay, so the carb's cleaned out. So, first thing we're going to do is, and then of course after this, we're going to have to put the different springs in to check the pop-off pressure. Chris is going to get that now. I'm going to put the new jets in. Again, I ordered these from Watercraft Superstore. Is and on the jets, it'll tell you, wow, I can't read that, it's so small. That's the new one there, right? Let's see. 75, okay. So little jet goes in here. That's your pilot jet. Right? No need to go wrenching that thing in with an impact gun, just kind of screwed in like this. Get it to where it's like that. That's it. And then the main jet here, 140. And it says on the top, I don't know if you can read that, on the top it tells you. So it's a 140 jet. Okay, now the piece that came off here, there's a little clear check valve on there. Okay, it's hard to see. It's got to be replaced. When you look in your bag, it's hard to find that little piece. I mean, it's like transparent, so you got to really look hard to find it. I like to save all my old carb parts because you never know when you're going to need something when you take it apart and drop it. So I keep all my carb parts. Even if they're gaskets that, you know, maybe used already, you never know. You don't want to have to buy a carb kit because you took it apart and cut the gasket by accident. So I keep all my little carb parts. Run this in and just give it a base adjustment here. You don't want to run this all the way in and crush it. So you just go in until it stops. Low speed has the T handle on it. That's the one that's easier to adjust in the water. Right there, so we go half, 1, and an eighth on that. And then high speed. High speed is the one without the handle on it. Makes it a little bit more difficult to tune. Again, just run it in until it stops. Don't tighten it or torque it. You'll smash the inside where that little needle is. You just go until it stops, like that. And just go half. Okay, rotary valve timing. This is very important. Pay attention, Chris. Get this valve off. Don't bend it.
There we go.
Okay, go ahead and clean it up. Make sure this is all wiped down. So we're going to time this with the rotary valve wheel. I think the timing is, well, now I got to look at the manual. I can't remember.
147.
147 and 65 rings the bell. It's 159 degree rotary valve, 147 opening, 65 closing. So what happens is the magneto side piston, we're going to, here, Chris, put something in there without scratching it. And we're going to find top dead center. You should do it with a top dead center tool, but I'm going to leave that up to you, Chris. Go ahead and find exact top dead center. Right in the middle. I mean, you should have a TDC gauge where you can find it. You just got to move it to where you know exactly top dead center. Good? Alright. Get that valve wheel over there. On the mic over there. Okay. So you take 0 degrees. Wow, that's hard to see on this. Where's 0? Right here. 360, 0. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, put that on, and you put 360 to the bottom of the mag port, the line.
We're using the bottom number, yeah.
Yeah, right there. Okay, and when you get that lined up to the bottom of the mag port, 147 is what we're looking for. And if you look, there is a line scribed in there, probably from factory, which would be 147. Now, don't ever assume that that line is correct. And no matter what you do, don't ever go by this stupid thing right here. Because people say, oh yeah, you can time it by this. No. You look at that 147 line, wherever that is, where'd it go? There it is. You see that line right there? So that is 49, 48, 40. That's on 47 in there. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Pull that off. And actually, wait. Put it back on. Now put the 0 to the top of the mag port. That would be your closing timing. The rotary valve is asymmetrical, so it fits, it's different one way or the other like this. So put it to the top of the mag port. 360. Now mark 65 over here. Okay. Now, what you want to do is, you can see the line that's scribed in there, right there. Go ahead, put that valve on, and either one way or the other, you should have, the line should match up here and there, both of them. And you'll know you're at the right timing. And if it doesn't fit one way, you flip it over. Well, no, try it like that first. Because you got the gear teeth there, so if you put it on and it's way off, then you flip it upside down. I think you can be plus or minus 5 degrees, I think? 3 or 5 degrees?
Yeah, we're going to be off a couple.
Alright, flip it over, see what happens. You may flip it over and find it's way off. How much are you off? It was probably better the other way, wasn't it? Yeah, let's put it on the other way. And you could be a degree or two off with the top dead center. So put it on that way. Now, go ahead and put your screwdriver back in. See, look. Right there, if I line that up, is that lined up with the scribe and the... Turn that to where that's lined up with the line.
Scribe?
Yeah. That's pretty close. Yeah, that's pretty close. So that should be perfect right there. Yeah, pull the old one off. Go ahead and clean that channel out. And then we got our SVT kit here. So you have one gasket here for the intake manifold. Then you have this one right here, which is going to be for that. And the thing about this is you can't roll it on because it wants to pop off. You got to kind of stretch it over, and it'll stay on there without any permatex or anything. Okay, that off. Pull this gasket out, and this gasket may have been alright, but I am not going to chance it. Here, Chris, get this new one in here. Okay, so before we go into what Chris is doing, the motor is timed, intake is on, pistons are ready. The carbs we'll put on after. It's easier to do that after. I just got to tighten up the bolts for the exhaust factory pipe. Chris over here, oh, he had to buy a new steering wheel or handlebar assembly. He's getting that on.
We need the fucking gaskets.
I thought you bought them with them.
What? Yeah, I did.
Oh. Okay, so that handlebar should be nice and tight now.
Remember the one bolt sheared off, dude?
Yeah. And then we're going to, oh, you know what? Let me open that e-box real quick. I want to see what's inside that gray box. While he's doing this, I'll pop that open, and if it looks good, we'll just drop it in. Chris got the new steering on there. Nice and solid, nice and tight. Look at that. Look at that.
The linkage isn't
yeah, and then it just took me an hour to get all these bolts in here. What a pain in the butt right here. That stupid light's dead, so it's blinking. So, where is the Allen wrench I just had? I don't know. But you can get, the big ones out here, but then we got that one we ground off to get these. And then I had to run a 13 in the bottom over here because there's no way of fitting the Allen wrench in there. But those are all tight. Okay. Looks pretty good inside. Fix this one right here. Just got to get it covered. There, like that. Alright, well this looks good. Fuses are blown. You got a 5 amp fuse?
Yeah, it's not a good sign.
No, it's not. We'll figure that out though. You got a 5 amp fuse?
I can get one.
You can get one, he says.
I read on the forum that's not good. I fucking no mas.
What are you, an expert?
No, I'm just saying. You read all these motherfuckers with the 5 amp fuses blowing the fucking MPMM fucking
Oh,
done.
yeah, that could be it, but we'll find that out. Whoa! What's happening?
You know, more on that side. You know, we got the whole motor on this side.
I figured down, guy. Shit. My arm's wedged. My arm's fucking away. What are you doing, guy? Alright. Oh, shit. You know why? Because the head's in the way. Pull it up. Pull it up. What are we doing wrong? Oil all over the bottom.
Huh?
Oil all on the bottom. Because there's oil in the engine.
We're going to have to take that head off?
No, we ain't taking it off.
How the fuck are we going to get it in there?
Take the coolant sensor off first.
Think that'll clear it?
Yeah, keep pressing that. Wow, I'm going to lose my fucking hand here. Shit. Send it. Send it. Send it. Watch your hand.
Oh, my fucking arm.
Watch your arm. Oh, I'm kind of stuck here, guy. Ow! There we go. There we go. Wow, wow! Need a towel. Need a towel. Let's see what I'm doing here. Wow! Okay, I think that's an accomplishment. We got the motor in at least. Steering on.
Yeah, we got a little bit done today.
Got to drain that tank out.
Not as much. Well, we're going to work on it tomorrow, too.
Yeah, we could get some of this done tomorrow. We could get the carbs on, bolt the motor down, hook up all the fuel and water lines and start this thing tomorrow if we had a 5 amp fuse. But that's the progress right now. Today it's 94 in here. My gosh, it's hot. Hope that thing does anything. So Chris wants to sit out back and play tiddlywinks with his Bud Light. So I'll do some work in here on his garage, and his garage on his jet ski, because he can't. Look what he did. That's the hood he bought. Could have been a better spray paint job, but that'll work for now. He also put the new steering in. He's got this on. He's got the new gauges here. He took the mirrors off. He's got the gauges. Got to put them in. Looks like he bolted the motor mounts in. He got those in. It's not aligned or anything yet. So, oh, and he got these on. He painted those black, put those on. So, he did a little bit. He replaced this. So, it is looking pretty mean. But I'm going to try to get these carbs on today. And we're going to try to start it today. Hopefully he gets his ass out here. Okay, in an effort to save time, we've just gotten accomplished a lot here. This is going to run in this video. I got the gray box in here. I put the carbs on. Those are on. We got the oil lines hooked up for the rotary gear on the bottom, 1, 2. We have starter wire hooked up. You got those tight?
Yeah.
Okay, battery's on charge. I put the new fuel lines on the carb. This is just to hear it run. That's all we want to do. Chris decided to order whole new handlebars and grips when he didn't need them. So he's got a new trigger coming, this and that, and whatever else. What we're going to do is put the chamber on, the exhaust pipe, or the factory performance pipe chamber. The water box, we're not hooking any of the lines up for now for water. And we're going to see if this thing fires up, man. We're going to hear it run. After this, we can start finishing up here. Chris has got to put the mirrors back in. He's got to put the panel on here, finish painting it up, handlebars, route all the gauge wires in, which he could do that. That's a pain in the butt. all these here. Woo! Round 2. That's all the braking oil we put in there. And the 4-stroke motor oil. Pipe came off. Blew the pipe right off. Let's get a shot of that fire right here. Look at this. I had that thing loaded up with oil, so that's what usually happens. Braking oil. The pipe we didn't. Well, we did, but it pulled this thing right out. Got to put another clamp on there. That's coming. I just wanted to hear the thing run. Excuse me. And that was the, yeah, see, it popped that off. We're gonna
have to open the hatch, well.
We gotta open the garage? What the hell was that? Wow.
It's probably your connector.
What connector? Woo! Look at the smoke coming out of here. Yeah, that's what happens when you load up a braking oil. It was cool in there, but so she's gonna run. She's gonna run.
We'll have to figure out something for the water box too.
Yeah, we got a piece of flexible for the water box to the pipe.
Need a hit?
That's a oh boy. Okay guys, I think that is progress for this video. You saw it run. You heard it run. Almondo, we're coming for you, buddy. You better get that supercharger or whatever you got to get. We're coming for you. That 787 you got ain't got nothing. Okay, now that we got light in here, Chris is going to have some fun hooking this stuff up. Got stuff everywhere here. Wires and gauges and all that. Yeah, cool. Are you happy it ran, Chris?
Affirmative.
Not even hot. Yeah, next time, the next video what we'll do is we'll have this thing wrapped up, hopefully, at least to a point where we could run it on the hose outside for 10-15 minutes. Usually when I'm breaking in the motor before, you don't want to run that pump out of water for more than like 3 or 4 minutes. Before I hook all that up, we'll just hook it up to the hose with the water lines and she'll run all day long on the hose as long as it stays running without the bearing getting hot in the pump. So, and we'll let her sit there and run. There you go.